Hello, I'm Becca Tilley, and you're listening to the Art of Kindness podcast.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Art of Kindness, where we have compassionate conversations with artists from all areas of the entertainment industry who are using their voice to spread joy and make this big spinning planet in the universe a better place to be. I'm Robert Peterpaul, and I'm so glad you're here. Hello, friends. I'm back. I apologize for the delay in episodes, but we have been moving into our first house. Woo! Did you hear that echo? Because I'm in a bigger space. I don't know if there was an echo. But one of the most exciting things about moving into this dreamy cottage that has become our home has been showing our cats around, our pets. And these little furry family members have been a little stressed because of all the moving boxes, all of their furniture being shifted around. I don't know why I said their furniture. Well, I do know why, because they think it's theirs and they march all over it. And now that we're in the space, I really want to make sure that everything is clean for them. Everything is okay and safe for them to venture into, all the nooks and crannies. And so this got me thinking, how can I be kind to my cats in this way? And Mrs. Myers has the answer with their new pet care line. And, who better to talk to about this than their ambassador, the amazing Becca Tilley. A Louisiana native, you most likely know Becca Tilley from The Bachelor. This 30-something resides in Los Angeles, California with her girlfriend and their pup, Phoebe. She is one of the personalities behind People's Choice Awarded podcast, Scrubbing In with Becca Tilley and Tanya Rad, and a lifestyle influencer and content creator. Go check out her pages. She's posting the most joyful things. Becca was quickly put in the public eye through season 19 of The Bachelor and an additional run on season 20. You can usually find her eating McDonald's or sipping a Dr. Pepper in her free time, or spritzing Phoebe, her pup, with some Mrs. Myers pet care. Okay? We get into that. We talk the Wicked movie and just have such a wonderful time together. She was so sweet, and I'm thankful that our paths have crossed. I'm also thankful that I have crossed paths with you in the audio form. Thanks for being here, friend. Now, without further ado, please enjoy Becca Tilley. Hi, I'm good. You look so lovely.
Oh, thank you so much. You look so lovely.
I don't know about that, Becca. I'm gonna keep it real. We just moved into our first house, so this is like,
Congratulations.
thank you. On top of boxes, I'm like balancing a weird light, just a trash muppet over here.
I have my computer bouncing on a bowl right now, so I 1000% get it.
I think that's gonna be the title to
Are
this.
you are you in LA or where are you based?
We just moved to Connecticut.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah, we're near the beach, which is super
Wow.
nice. You're in LA, right?
I'm in LA, yeah. But
Oh,
I
nice.
dream of like having an East Coast summer, like, like a summer house or like
Yeah,
even for the fall. That's the one thing about the Southern California, like it's so beautiful, but I just crave the leaves changing and some
I
cooler
know.
weather.
I know. Are you a spooky person? Because I'm such a spooky
Well, you
dude.
know what's so funny? I'm not really a spooky person, but my birthday is the day before Halloween. So you would think that I was a spooky person, but
Yeah.
I lean more on the Libra side.
Oh, okay. I'll pretend to kind of get that. I'm the worst with signs.
I
I
don't
just
get
know
it
I'm a
either. I
Gemini.
just say it. I just always say it because anytime I say I'm a Scorpio, people are like, "What?" And then I'm like, "No, but I'm more like a Libra. Something in my chart is Libra." So,
Yeah, it means something. I have a Scorpio rising, apparently. I don't know what
oh,
it
okay,
means,
that
but
might be why you're spooky.
yeah, a little unhinged. But yeah, my wife has a similar thing because her birthday is right near Christmas. So she feels like
Yeah.
she's a weird relationship with Christmas. I don't know. That might be
No,
maybe
I
why.
think that's a thing. My brothers birthday is a day after Christmas, and then my girlfriend's sister is like a few days before Christmas, and it's kind of like a, I don't know if it's the gift thing or like the celebrate, not feeling celebrated enough because everyone's
Yeah.
celebrating this other big thing.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, Becca, I just gotta say, from The Bachelor to your podcast, which shout out to my cousin Maggie because she's the biggest scrubber. Is a scrubber?
Yeah, shout out to Maggie.
She's obsessed. To your recent, wicked social media video that went viral. I mean, I just feel like you bring people so much joy. So I wanted to start out by thanking you for that because we need joy in these times, Becca. We need it.
That's so nice. Yeah, we really we're in a shortage of joy right now, I think.
Yeah, that's a good title too. Now that I kind of like accosted you with a compliment, I feel like you probably get a lot of them from people. And I was wondering, how are you at accepting compliments and sort of like receiving love from people?
I think that I my initial reaction is to push it away, but I think as I've gotten older and also recognizing that when I give a compliment, if someone deflects or tries to push it away, I'm like, wait, just let me say something nice or let me love you. And so I think
Yeah,
when I like put myself in that position of how I feel when I give a compliment and someone doesn't want to receive it, it makes me feel more open to receive them because I know people are saying it out of, I think I've always been like, they're just saying that because they have to, as opposed to
yeah,
just being like, they're just saying it because they want to. So it's something that I definitely have had learned to work on, I think, throughout like getting older. But, I still get a little bit like uncomfortable if someone's too complimentary. Like, just give
yeah.
me one compliment and move on.
Okay, let me cross out like the 37 others I have listed here.
No, no, you can
Actually,
keep going, but
just
like,
read a couple more.
but it's funny because like my girlfriend is such a words of affirmation person, and so she showers me with verbal compliments. And we were actually talking about this last night because I was saying, in terms of how she makes me feel, I have never felt more beautiful or like loved in my life because she is so vocal about it. And it's not like anything grand. It's just little moments throughout the day or in the morning where, she's like, "You're so beautiful," and I love you, and I love that you do this. And I'm like, oh wow, I think she's helped me learn to accept those things too.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I was going to ask you because your relationship seems, so beautiful and I love following it. Today we're here to talk about kindness, so I'll probably get into what she's taught you about kindness, but you kind of just gave us an example right there, which I think is amazing off the bat here. And now I keep singing Let Me Love You in my head since you said that. Remember that song? It's like, Let me love you.
Oh wait,
Don't
I was
caress my
going Justin
body.
Bieber. I went Justin Bieber, "Let Me Love You."
Oh my gosh. Okay, there's probably a third. Listeners, DM us what that is. So, before we get into your amazing new Kindness First partnership, I would just love to know, to set context, Becca, what does kindness mean to you? Speaking of sort of those love languages, I guess it could be similar. And how do you think that definition has changed over the years?
Wow. I think what I've realized about kindness, I guess as I've gotten older, I think I've always thought of kindness as just, the action that you do for someone. But I think what I've realized is kindness is kind of how someone feels after the interaction, like how
Mm,
someone feels after they leave the interaction with me. Like that to me is kindness, of how I left someone feeling, whether it was a stranger who I took their shopping cart back to the place for them, or something even as small, just like how someone feels when you leave them or how you left
mm,
them. And I think that sometimes kindness is, um, I think it's infectious because I think if I'm in a bad mood and someone's kind to me, I'm instantly like, oh, I need to,
yeah.
I need to shift gears here.
It is. There's actually science behind it, why it is contagious. I know it says it on like every home goods pillow, and we love that too, but it literally is contagious. And that's so brilliant what you said. I just saw a video of, Bow Down to Miss Viola Davis, of her talking
Yeah.
about just that. Her saying, like, it's not about me and my ego and what I do, it's about how people feel because of what I do.
Hmm.
And I think that's beautiful because it puts the emphasis on others versus, just thinking about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when people say if you're in a bad mood or if you're feeling down, like go do something kind for someone, and you're thinking, well, that feels like a selfish motive because I'm doing something kind to make myself feel better. But I think what
Mm,
happens is it automatically shifts how you're perceived and how you perceive the world. And so I think that even though it feels like a selfish gesture in the beginning, I think that there's something to doing that because you watch someone else's mood shift and then you get to experience that shift too, which is like a really good
mm.
feeling, especially when you're feeling down. It is like if you can just get out of your own head and like look at the world in a bigger picture, you realize how small your little mood flare up is.
Yeah, that's why I love plane rides. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I always think it's going down and I like accept my death like halfway through the plane ride. But I do love the moment where you see the little cars, the little ants, the little buildings, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm just a tiny speck, you know?
Just
It
a
puts
tiny
things into
speck.
perspective.
Even
Yeah.
our biggest issue is not that big.
Yeah, right? I wonder, is there an act of kindness that you feel like kind of changed your trajectory, even in regards to just getting into the entertainment industry? I know that's a big question too, but oh, hey, oh, yes, I'm
Yeah,
glad
the
we're getting the
star of the
pet
show.
cameos. I know I locked my cats out, but they'll probably bust
She
in.
has to like sit up. If I'm on a call, she
She's
has
so
to be
cute.
up here, like sitting next to the computer. It's like she's my assistant or something.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Anytime I'm sitting and working, the cats are screaming. I'm new to cats, and they're so weird and fun, but like they just can't
I've
get
heard
enough.
they're interesting.
Yeah, if you we have really sweet ones. One's basically a dog, like she'll play fetch,
Oh
but
my gosh, that's so funny.
they're so weird. Like if you just like weird, funny things, yeah, you gotta embrace a cat.
Yeah, I love my friends that have cats. I love them. Sorry, I got off. Well, Phoebe got us off topic, but
Well, we're
we'll
gonna get
come
to
back to
Phoebe.
her
So
because
Phoebe,
she's
yeah,
actually perfectly on topic. But I think an act of kindness that like changed the trajectory of really my life, like honestly, was when I went public with my relationship with Hayley because I we had been dating since 2018 and we weren't public with our relationship until 2022 and I had a lot of uh apprehension and fear of how people would respond and
Mm,
I knew that there would be. I was like, it'll be 50-50. Some people, half people will celebrate us and half the people will not. And it was so much more kindness and celebrating us than I ever gave myself the option to accept that I was so overwhelmed and it fully changed I mean, it changed my life because it
yeah,
made me go like you have to give people a chance. Like you can't just assume that everything is black and white and you can't just assume that it's 50-50 on everything and that just because someone like has different views on certain things doesn't mean that they're not going to celebrate you, you know? And I think
yeah.
that I had so many like the kindest DMs and messages from people that were so unexpected and I will never ever forget it.
Oh, that's so
Ever.
beautiful. I'm glad you had that. You
Yeah.
deserve it. And it
Thank
I
you.
know that must be so scary. I know friends that have gone through things on a smaller level where it's similar. Sometimes anytime you're vulnerable in life, even just an act of kindness like smiling at someone on the street that's a stranger, that takes vulnerability and on a smaller level can be scary. So
Yeah.
what you did, I think, is an example to so many people and you know, I'm glad you were met with that kindness. It's like you're never gonna please everybody, so you might as well just please yourself.
Yeah.
And I think I think that's awesome. But thank you for sharing that. I know we got to get to today's actual topic of conversation, which is
Yeah.
kindness to our furry friends. So you got a pal named Phoebe that already crashed the conversation here. Is okay? Is Phoebe after Friends? Is it like
Yeah.
Phoebe? Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was having like when I first of all, I was looking to get a dog for my parents. And so when I found these little Pomeranians and I was like, I was with my sister. She lived with me at the time. I was like, let's just go look at them. Like they're cute puppies. Let's go see them.
Yeah.
And I picked up Phoebe and she just like melted into my neck. And I looked at my sister and I was like, I think I'm going to get a dog today. And she is just the love of my life. Like
Oh.
I am so obsessed with her and she kind of gives like she's kind of like a teenager, you know? Like she like sometimes she wants me, but she also can play hard to get. She's obsessed with
Mm.
Haley, like hurts my feelings sometimes because I'm like I do everything for you.
Yeah.
Like, but what was your question? I like just went on a tangent about getting
I
Phoebe.
love that. Keep going. I was just asking if it was named after friends. I know,
Oh
like you
my
call her, I
God. So
think
then,
chicken. You have a lot of
yeah,
names
I
for her.
do
Yeah.
call her Chicken. She's such a chicken, but I couldn't think of a name, and I was like going through all these names, and it was like day 3, and I still didn't have a name for her, and I was taking photos with my friend who was a photographer, and she was like, "You love Friends? What about Phoebe?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's such a Phoebe." So that's where her name came
She's
from.
not a smelly cat, but
No, she's
she's
not. She's
not smelly
chicken.
dog. She's not smelly because of
She's
Mrs. Myers.
never smelly. Well, honestly, she went through a phase because she couldn't she has like a lot of sensitivities and allergies, so I had to be like I was scared to spray anything on her or near her, and so
Yeah.
I was so excited about working with Mrs. Myers and trying when I got to try their new pet product line. I was so excited because they have this dog deodorizing spritz, which is all of their grooming products for dogs and cats. They're vet tested and they are cruelty free.
Right.
And so I sprayed it and I was just like waiting for her to start coughing. I was just like, here we go. And she never did. And it smells so good. So she's always smelling good. Um, and then
That's amazing.
they release products that are just like the they're not only I think a lot of products that I've used for Phoebe stuff, it like will mask any smells, but then after a while I'm like, did I even clean this? And I think
Mm,
they're cleaner. It's like smells like coconut. It's coconut leaf scented.
I love
It
that.
makes the whole room smell good. It tackles the stain and the smell at the source so it doesn't just like mask it and then come back later. It's the
Yeah.
best. I literally all my friends with dogs and cats, I'm like, you have some you need to shop for this because it's incredible. So
Yeah,
I
I
am the
gotta
biggest
try it.
fan. Yeah.
I've always been a fan of Mrs. Myers, and
Me
the
too.
bottles are just beautiful. Like it's like such a great brand because it feels clean, it looks clean, it literally does clean, and I'm so excited that they have this pet care line now. Are there any tips I guess you've learned from them, or just in general that you have for people listening that do have, a furry friend?
Well, the main tip that I've like really learned, I was just having a lot of conversations with is this so loud? They're
What
literally,
what is that?
I think it's maybe
Oh, it's like they're
lower.
doing work.
I don't know.
Becca, this is the story of my life. Every time I record something, there's a lawnmower, like just stuff falls, my cats scream, so we're rolling with it. My listeners, I think, are used to it.
Okay. Yeah, I think like through this partnership and having these conversations, I've realized that I was thinking about how messy I have a lot of stuff. So like when I get stuff, I just like have piles
Oh
and
yeah.
it's always a mess. And I was like thinking about how she never says anything about my messes. And I was thinking
It's
about
nice.
how anytime she has a mess or like her paws, I have a white couch. So like if her paws get, the couch dirty or whatever, she sleeps in bed with us. I'm always like, I would never, it's changed my perspective. Not that I ever got mad at her, like she can do no wrong, but it changed my
Mm,
perspective of like, I can never be mad at her for anything because she's the exact example of unconditional love. She never makes me feel judged. She never makes me feel bad for my messes. And I'm like, she will get the same treatment forever, always.
oh, that's beautiful. Because it's true. It's like, what do they want? They just want to sit on your lap and be with you all the time. And yes, if you're doing something, you're like, stop, get away. But
Yes.
then you always come back to, oh wait, they're not doing anything wrong. They're saying, let me love you. They're singing the
Yeah.
Justin Bieber song, over and over again. Always comes back to the beeps.
Always comes.
I wonder too, I always think about this, especially having pets and knowing people that do, and pet always feels like a weird word. It's like your family member. Do
Yeah.
you feel like people that do have animals in their life in any sense are like kinder people? Because I kind of do feel like it makes you a
Yeah.
kinder person.
I think honestly, when you're receiving the unconditional love of a pet, I think it just makes you a better person because even honestly, before I had Phoebe, I liked animals and stuff, but I wasn't super, like, I wouldn't bend down and pet. I would just be like, oh, that's a cute dog. But I was like,
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
as soon as I got Phoebe, it's like every animal I come in contact with, I need to pet. I need to pet it, or even if it's a bug that's in the house, I get upset with Haley if she ever kills it because I'm like, it's just a small thing that came into the wrong place, and so I try to like save it, and she's like, this is crazy, but it
Yeah, I get
really
that.
changed my the way my perspective on any living creature to a point where it's gotten a little weird, but I do think you have a different sense of empathy when you have pets.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too. I love that. Do you have a favorite, I guess, product with Mrs. Myers that you've been using on Phoebe? Is there a specific one? You mentioned the spritz, which
Yeah.
honestly I want to put that on my body because of the coconut smell. Like I'll probably spray it in my face. I don't do that everybody, but I probably will.
So I the dog deodorizing spritz is like I just use that as a refresher in between her baths because I take her to the groomer and stuff, but I love for her to smell good, and so I just spritz that on her when I do her brushing, which she doesn't like the brushing, but
Neither
smells.
do my cats.
So yeah, she's kind of cat-like in that way. And so it smells, the scent is white peach, but it smells so clean and fresh. And then I love the cleaner, which I said I spray like on the couch stains and whatnot. It's just, I sprayed it the other day when my friends were here, just like there was a stain. So I sprayed it. My friend didn't see me and she goes, did you just spray something that smells like coconut? And I was like, oh yeah, it's the cleaner. And she's like, that smells amazing. So those have been my two, like, I've used consistently since I got the products.
Yeah. Okay, this is so random, but if you were a scent, what would you be?
Ooh. I'm not good at like knowing notes of anything, but I have like a specific, I have a perfume, and so my favorite compliment is that I smell good. That's the one compliment that I do not reject. I'm like, thank you, thank you. But I love like a clean, fresh. I don't like a powdery smell, but almost
Yeah.
like I love a beachy smell. Like
Yeah.
that smell when you go to the beach and you it's like coconut and pineapple and sunscreen, and it's just like all these things
Yeah.
mixed up. It just smells like summer.
Yeah.
I like that, but with like something that I don't know the name of added to it.
No, yeah, I actually love the smell of sunscreen too. Now
Me
I'm
too.
picturing like this actually sounds so weird, but the girl with the dog like biting her bikini
Yes,
bottom thing. What
but
what brand is that even? I don't.
it's like the original sunscreen.
Yeah, where's that
Everyone
biopic?
used it.
Ryan Murphy? I mean, I don't know what that means. Okay, wait. So we're on the Broadway Podcast Network. So we did a lot with Wicked, and I gotta ask because of your amazing video. I know you're a huge Wicked fan.
So huge.
What were your thoughts on the first movie? And then we'll break down what we're excited for in part two.
I was so okay. So I saw the Broadway show. I lived in San Diego, and it was like I saw the traveling show,
Yeah.
and I had no idea I didn't know what it was about or anything. So I just went to it, and I was obsessed. I was like, I listened to the soundtrack over and over again, and then I took my mom to New York. She had never been to New York, so like 2 years ago, I took her to New York, and we went and saw the show. And I was like, oh my gosh, this show is it never gets old. And when
Yeah.
the movie came out, I was a little nervous because sometimes the movie adaptations just don't hit like the Broadway or like
Yeah.
I sat there and was just, I don't think I moved during Defying Gravity. Like, I feel like and I was dressed as Elphaba in the movie theater. Like, I had green
I
paint and
saw that. That
everything.
was
I was very
amazing.
uncomfortable physically.
Yeah.
But I just remember I was sitting in my chair, like sitting up, and I felt like I had my popcorn like here, and I never moved for like the whole
The green
song.
paint's melting. You're
Oh
just
my
crying.
gosh. I saw
Yeah.
it 3 times in theater. I bought it as soon as it came out. We sometimes just put it on to watch Defying Gravity. Like,
Oh, I don't blame you. It's so iconic. I did a stupid TikTok bit where I was her cape in Defying Gravity. It was okay, it was really dumb. But I think it's such an iconic scene. It's so fun. Part two's coming,
mhm.
and it was interesting because we had John Chu on here who directed the film,
Yeah.
and I was just like geeking out the whole time. And he talked about how he might like take into account what the fans say, and then because he hadn't edited part two yet, and then go into part two like with that in mind because he shot so much extra footage. What are you, I guess, hoping to see? Is there a number that you're most looking forward to?
I mean, the one thing that I can't stop thinking about is For Good because I think it's
Yeah.
just going to be so emotional. And I think, it's Defying Gravity is such an emotional song on so many different scales of like personal, the friendship of it all, the everything about it. And I think the
Yeah.
For Good is kind of like it's the finale of the whole movie. So I think that's on top of it being like, oh no, it's over. I'm like for them to sing that song, I just cannot even. I can't
I
wait.
know. Yeah. Just well, Mrs. Myers has changed us for good too to bring it back to that. I know you've done some things around this, but do you have any interest in acting and like going into the theater? Is that ever
I
crossed your mind?
It's so funny. I was talking about this the other night with I was at Haley's family's house and we were talking. I was in drama in seventh and eighth grade, and they were like, "Oh," and of course Haley's family, they're all like this. They would be the stars of the show, right? So they were like the leads, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, I was just a background actor," but I thought that I was as equal. Like I thought that I was as important as the leads, you know? Um,
You were. Yeah.
yeah, like you can't do it. You can't do it alone, folks.
Yes. We need the tree or we're not in the forest, if you're not dressed as the tree.
But I feel like any acting craving I have, I kind of get to channel into, what I do I can do really whatever I want with social media, which is really fun.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have I would definitely have to take some extensive classes to get to a place where I felt confident in that. I can't sing at
Okay.
all. So the Broadway thing is off
I
the
appreciate
limits.
that. I
Yeah.
love seeing what Trish has done with her platform. She's such a huge fan of
Yes.
Broadway, and then she used all her money to literally make these videos and then get to Broadway, and everyone's obsessed with her now. And I think that's so special.
It's amazing.
So you could do whatever you want to do. I don't need to tell you that. But I do know that you have to go. And so it would just be awesome if we could end this time together by you sharing a tangible kindness tip. So something you would like everybody out there listening to do on their own corner just to try and make the world a little bit brighter.
Oh, I mean, man, I think that something that I try to do that I think is such a low lift, easy thing because everyone is typically around people throughout the day at some point is even if it's like checking out with the cashier, like giving someone a compliment. Because I was thinking about how sometimes you can go the whole day and you realize you didn't really have any good interactions with someone, and maybe you can be
Yeah.
like the one good interaction someone has, and even if it's not giving them a compliment, it's like looking them in the eye and having direct eye contact and smiling, because I know it sounds so silly and simple, but I was looking around the other day and I was at a store and we were all waiting in line and every single one of us was looking down at our phone, and I was
Hmm.
like, man, we've kind of lost that just
I
genuine
know. Don't you
connection of
hate
like
that?
chit
Yeah.
chatting. And I mean, I'm from the South, and so like you would talk to someone at a checkout line about nothing or anything,
Yeah.
and I kind of just miss in general that connection of greeting people and like
Yeah.
looking people in the eye and smiling and having a conversation, even if it's 30 seconds. And I think that's so low lift for people, and it's just like a reminder that you could be the only like positive interaction someone has for that whole day, maybe the
Hmm.
week. You don't know like what they're going home to or what life is like outside of that moment, but you could be like something that they remember in a positive light, and it's
Yeah.
easy.
That's such a great reminder. We talk a lot about compliments on here, but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever framed it that way of that you could be the only positive interaction someone has. And I think that's a great way to think about it. You could be someone's last interaction. You don't even know it, not to be morbid, but
Yes.
sorry. Okay, bye.
No.
Uh,
Okay, thanks so
Speaking of
much,
death, like
Robert.
I look like a ghost. I'm looking at myself. I'm so glad this isn't falling off the boxes, but I'm like, whoo. Anyway,
Your
I'm just
lighting's like nice and your background's all blurred. It's good. Good. You got a
it's
good setup. Very professional.
it'll be better, I promise.
Next time. Next time.
We just moved in literally like yesterday. So when this came to me, I was like, I'm gonna do it, and this will be my first one in the house, but I won't have my studio. But
Wow.
anyway, this was so lovely, and I just think you're amazing. Ooh, I am gonna go before this falls down, but I believe everybody should go get this pet care line. Where can they find it? Anything else you want to shout out about Mrs. Myers before we go?
Yeah, you can go to mrsmyers.com and all the information is on there. And I would just like to say if you have a pet, like don't wait because these products are amazing and they smell so good and they make life better.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for making life better for people, Becca. It was a pleasure.
It was so great talking to you and meeting you, and you are so lovely.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, we should go. Until next time, remember, everything is gonna be A-okay.